What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Your Story. We're here today with Darnell from 2020 Auto Spa out of Coppers Cove, Texas. I got it.
Hey, look, I was like, he was.
Darnell came in this industry not too long ago. Have helped some other shops actually grow up until he got into his own. So this is a really cool story that he's got to tell, especially with some military background, moved his family out here. But I'll let him kind of tell that story. So Darnell, thanks for coming.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. So before we get into the story, why don't you tell us your drink of choice for today?
So my drink of choice today is Buffalo Trace.
Nice. And why did you choose that?
So I kind of compare it to 2020 Auto Spa, right? It's smooth, elegant, and it's for professionals.
That was sexy. Why don't you pour it up?
Alrighty.
So while you're opening it up, give us a little background on your story and kind of where you grew up and to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Maryland in a small town, Chesapeake Beach. I grew up right outside the Chesapeake Bay area. So I didn't grow up in a big city. As far as anything else goes, my military background, I'd say I was in the military since 2012. I ended up getting out in 2017. I was an infantryman when I was in. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan. I was in a reconnaissance section in my first tour and then a regular infantry unit in my second tour.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got out of the military and then decided, or what were you doing after that?
So I got out of the military and went to school at Hennessy Performance. So that was really cool, very unique experience. A lot of people can say they go there. So I had a lot of training there. After that, I ended up working in a high performance shop for a few years. And then I made my way in the auto detailing industry as well at the same time.
So in 2012, when you decided to enlist into, was the Army?
Yes, sir.
The Army, what was that decision? Or why did you make that decision to do that?
One, it's kind of family traits for me. My grandpa was military, did some badass stuff. My brother as well. And then my dad as well, so it's kind of in the blood.
Yeah. And what are some things that you learned when you were there?
Well, one of my big pieces that I carry into my business is the discipline structure, right? Everything is discipline structured, timely, and it's precise. That's my biggest piece that I always like to carry.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of guys, because I have some non-military background, but a lot of people that are in the military have a big connection to the men and women that they serve with. Can you speak about some of those friends that you were able to build?
Yeah, absolutely. All of my friends that I served with, I still talk to them to this day, whether it's Facebook communication or whether it's going out to see them. One of my guys that I actually served with that was downrange with me was in my wedding. He's one of my groomsmen. Lives about 5 minutes away from me now. Still comes in. We chat all the time.
Wow. In that 5 years that you're in the military, what are some things that you learned? Because obviously being away for 5 years and going to Afghanistan twice and having these tours away, I can only imagine the heartache it is to be away from family and friends. Your son at the time too, right? So can you speak of how you mentally how you prepared yourself to go on these tours?
So my son came in the picture later, so I didn't have that experience right out the gate. But as far as being away from my family, that it's kind of something you just gotta dive right into it, and putting too much thought into it that's what the hard part is, right? I'm one of those people, like, I give my one good hug and I gotta go, and that's it. For me, I don't try to wrap too much emotion around it because it's not going to change that you're not coming back right away. So.
And what are some things that you saw when you were on these tours?
You see a lot of different things over there. Honestly, you see, being in America in this current time, especially in the state of events of the world, I still feel like we're in the greatest nation. Being in places where there's no running water, where there's no police, there's no government. The government that's there is running rabid. They're killing regular civilians, and we got people here complaining, at the McDonald's line. So, for me, I seen a lot of different walks of life, going through Germany, going through Afghanistan, going through Poland, going through a lot of different other countries. So, it was a really cool experience.
Wow. Yeah, that can humble you real quick.
Absolutely.
Right. So you get out of the military, and then what was your next step once you got out?
So that's where my little man comes into play. I met my wife. So I met my wife here right when I was getting out, actually. And so that's actually what kept me right in this area. But not only is that what kept me in this area, the explosive opportunities for business in this area. I grew up in Maryland where rent is almost $3,000 for apartments, and you come to a place like Texas where you're getting a mansion for that pretty much. So the startup for business here, way better opportunities, way better business models and growth. And then of course my wife was here. My wife's whole family is here as well. And so my dad was getting ready to retire after, he's on his 29th year. And so I was telling him like, hey, I'm gonna do my thing. And, you know, so I ended up bringing my dad out here and my mom, and, you know, that's been the best experience ever.
When you say you brought them out here, where were they prior to that?
Maryland.
Oh, so they're in Maryland. So you're born and raised in Maryland.
Yes, sir.
And then why did you choose here?
Well, I ended up stationed here. So this was my last duty station. So I was stationed right at Fort Hood.
Oh, Fort Hood's not too far from here.
It's right beside the door.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. All right.
I'm surprised we haven't heard a bomb or a tank or something, artillery round, something. There's always something going on here.
Well, I got to ask, have you detailed any tanks yet?
No. I have, well, yes, unwillingly. Unwillingly when I was a Joe. So when I was a Joe, of course, you get stuck doing whatever. Yeah. But no, professionally, no tanks.
All right, good. So you basically get stationed here, decide to stay here, yeah. And then why did you decide to say, hey, mom and dad, why come on out here and help me out?
Well, one, you know, my parents were getting up there in age, and it's freezing. First off, it's freezing where they're at, you know. Yeah. They're getting older. I have my daughter, so I have a 2-year-old. So I wanted them to be close to my, you know, to their grandbaby. So I wanted to have that family aspect. I grew up in the house with my parents every single day. I grew up with my grandparents around. So I grew up with a really big family dynamic. So that was huge to me. And then my wife has her entire family here. So she had a support system of her own. It's kind of tough only seeing your family once a year maybe. So that was a big deciding factor.
Yeah, and can you speak of that family dynamic?
Absolutely. So across the room, you know, he'll be in the interview a little bit later, is my dad, but that's my best friend. Like, you know, he taught me everything I know. Everybody always asks me, you know, why people call me Vince or, you know, whatever, but I always think I'm just like him, you know. I always say if I can be a quarter of the man, I'll be perfect. So, and then, you know, have my mom, and my mom's a wizard. You know, she runs one of the administration sides of one of my other companies as well. So, you know, being able to have them down here next to my family, my kids they get to grow, you know, see how I do things now, and it's amazing. You know, we didn't come up in the entrepreneur background where we're from. You know, my parents grew up in the workforce era, so kind of showing them what I can do, starting off in the game for entrepreneurship around 26. Now I'm 29, and, you know, running 3 different companies and having my whole family here. It's like, it's surreal. It's super humbling, like, just to have them here and knowing that they trust what I'm doing.
And they're here to help.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And speaking on the entrepreneurial side, so this isn't your only business.
No, sir.
All right, can you speak of the other two?
Absolutely. So I own a meal prep company, Prep Start Lifestyles. So we're one of the heavy hitters for meal prep companies in Central Texas area. Myself and my wife, that's our baby. That's our baby over there. That's our other baby. And then I own a media agency as well called Branding with a Vision. So creating your brand with my vision.
Wow, love that.
So, yeah.
And what are some things that you've learned in these other businesses that you've taken into account for 2020?
How to scale. When you're in the food industry, scaling is everything. Everyone wants to be the next overnight millionaire, but understanding, we started that meal prep company in 2018, and I think we only made 10 grand the first year. And coming into year 3, we did 155,000, but that was only in 90 working days. So scaling that, and, you know, taught me how to scale this business, not growing too fast, making sure it was always the quality first. My media company, we talked about, that was a dream since 2017, and it's just turning into fruit this year in 2021. So I've met some really great guys. One of my other staff members here that you guys have seen earlier, Chris helps me on the network side. And I've got all these different pieces that kind of help me now. So learning scaling would be my biggest piece that I would say, though. Customer service, you know, the customer experience. We're 5-star. We literally have no bad reviews in any business that we have, none.
And why do you believe that's, you know, that you don't? It's all 5 stars all around.
It's the experience that we give, right? We're gonna make sure it's right. Whether, you know, even if we make a mistake, I'm man enough to be like, hey, we made a mistake, we're gonna make it right though. You know, and that comes from my military background. You know, you just gotta man up, and you gotta take care of business every time. Yeah,
it's funny you said that, you know, the word experience seems to be the same word that comes up with a lot of these successful companies in our industry, not just our industry, but in general. You know, whenever you walk into a place or even a hotel, I always call it the Ritz experience, right? We walk into a Ritz-Carlton, next thing you know, you get this experience that you won't get anywhere else. Yeah. But it makes you appreciate it. You don't even think about the dollar spent. You think about the experience you had.
Absolutely.
So what have you done here? Because experience is key for a lot of these younger guys that are coming into this industry. When I say younger, obviously you and I are 29, but you know what I mean? A lot of guys that are coming into this experience are just starting their shop out. What experience are you providing to your clients?
So one of the big pieces that we like to think is we're changing the way clients are seeing auto detailing, right? When we made 2020 Auto Spa, it wasn't about the year, it was about the vision and creating a unique way for them to see things. So using things like Urable to provide, a different interface, a different experience. A lot of people walk in here and when we tell them we're not a cash only business, they're like, oh, you guys are legitimate. Like, we're like, those are basic things to us that we think about, but, providing them those experiences, bringing in people like Eric, our videographer, who's, turning your car into a story for you. You get to show that off to your family, your friends. The big piece that we always get asked is, hey, can my car be on the website? Can my car be on this piece? And so that's another piece that we add, and just providing the quality service. A lot of people can say that, they provide quality, but we're the only certified shop in this area that's really putting back into our business, which is allowing us to put back into our clients.
And what do you mean when you say you're putting back into the business?
So one thing that we like to do here is we upgrade the shop all the time. If you came here a year ago when we started, there was nothing but bare concrete floors. There was no paint, there was no lights. None of the stuff was in the ceiling. We didn't have lifts. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a cart. We didn't have vacuums. Like, we started off literally nothing, $1,000 in a dream. So when I say putting back into the business and looking at where we're at now, having a shop truck, having a mobile trailer, and under just in a year, like, we really put back into our business. It's not about the glitz and glam for us.
Damn, that's impressive. And the shop's super clean. When we walked in here this morning, I even mentioned to you, I was like, wow, I don't know if you're a minimalist or you're just like super detailed, but you can tell the minute you walk into the shop, the professionalism's there.
Absolutely.
So let's speak about your team too, because obviously you've grown your team, and everyone came from different backgrounds or even different businesses that were in our industry. So how did you build the team?
So building the team, it takes a lot when you think about it, right? Adding my dad was a no-brainer, right? Because he's going to bring the old school touch, right? He's going to make sure everything's done. One thing about us is, we all have a different strong point. And I'm going to say this, my dad's going to make sure the engine bay is perfect on every car. He's going to make sure the wheels are perfect and the fender wells better be immaculate every time. Chris is the planner, the organizer, right? He's going to be the one like, hey man, we got to line it out this way. We got to set these jobs up on these days in this platform. So we're going to work on it that way. Cam's the workhorse. He's going to come in like a freight train and smoke everything. And my job's to bring them here. I got to get the cars here. That's what I do. So I get the cars here, and I'm pretty good on the correction side myself. So,
Absolutely. All right. So when you first started, were you by yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now that you've seen that you built your team, how has your time changed and the business grown?
Everything's changed. I have a meal prep company now that I couldn't grow before. I have a media company. It's been talked about since 2017. We couldn't do it because I never left the shop, right? They gave me the opportunity to leave the shop. Chris comes in after working a full-time job. He's coming in 5, 6 o'clock at night, still finishing ceramic coatings up for us. Cam's coming in early and he's smoking it. If I say, hey Cam, I gotta go handle something in the food company, he's like, cool, I got it. I don't have to think twice, and that's huge. I call my dad, hey dad, we're slammed. He's on the way. He's on the road, quick.
Yeah, so you can rely on them.
Yeah, I trust every one of them. They take the business on it like it's 100% theirs, and I love it.
That's awesome. So speak of those 3 companies. How is it difficult to run 3 companies? I'm a 3 company owner myself, so I can understand the entrepreneurial side. It's more just ingrained inside of me more than anything else.
Yeah.
But can you speak of some of the difficulties, I guess it is, with running 3 different companies?
You're always thinking, literally, like when I go home at night, the turning it off part. Even if you turn off one, the other one starts going, and if you turn off 2, it's a never-ending thought process. It's always expansion. Where can I get better? Where can I find more efficiencies? Creating that work balance, right? I have my son. I'm married. I have a daughter. Creating time for my family. That's been my biggest challenge now, because now we're really growing. We're growing fast too, especially on the meal prep side. We're growing more rapid than even I had anticipated. So.
Yeah, and with that being said too, do you prepare yourself each morning for the day, or do you have any preparation that you do, a week ahead of time to schedule out your week?
So I actually have a person on my staff, Angel, her name's Angel, and she's pretty much I'm an awful organizer. I'm the worst organizer ever. I will go through a day and just whatever, I'll move through it. Like I said, one of my experiences being military, like I'm gonna just get through it, period. Embrace the suck, that's what they always teach. So whatever's going through in my head that day, we're gonna get it done. But for me, my big prep, I gotta hit the gym in the morning. 6 o'clock comes, I got to be up, I got to be rolled, I got to be ready, I got to be in there. I can't make it. I can't make it through without it.
Gets you ready for the day.
It gets me right every time.
Yeah. So you got the military background, and then you got your 3 businesses, and now, sleep-wise. Do you get any?
I don't even know what that is. Literally, I had met with you guys last night, got home. My son was sitting at the top of the stairs at like midnight when I got in. And he's just like, I didn't even make it to my room. He's like, do you need a blanket? So I'm laid out on the couch, and I'm up early this morning, hit the gym, and I'm right back in it.
Yeah. I think you shared a story with us about you had your eyes open you're basically awake for multiple days.
Yeah. You got to think when you're downrange, there's certain times where, hey, you got to be watching for stuff. So you're awake multiple days or multiple hours, however the case may be, but you got to be alert. You got to be, say you're waiting on a target or you're waiting on a person or, you're surveying an area, you can't be asleep. So, you got to be up. So doing stuff like that, and you think you're doing that for a year. You're doing that for a year at a time or 9 months to a year at a time. So, it's one of those things that kind of sticks with you.
Yeah, and what exactly do you mean when you're saying downrange?
Downrange being like in Afghanistan, we call that downrange. So like when you're in another country, we call that, being downrange.
Yeah, and so basically you have multiple days where you're just up at a time.
Oh yeah, there's no such thing as an off day. I don't know what day you're going to take off over there, but.
Yeah, wow. All right, so let's talk about your business a little bit more too, and the growth that you've had here. And you said, obviously it's experience focused first, but what else would you say has helped you grow this business to be what it is today? And not just that, but also your secondary shop that you just purchased, a couple of days ago? Yeah,
literally yesterday.
Yesterday, all right.
So literally yesterday we were gonna roll that out, but hey, we're here, so we're gonna roll that out. No, it's awesome, man. But no. One of the big pieces that's helped me roll it out is my supporting cast. They are the fire behind, me. Like I explained to Michael and Chris last night, one of the big things that gives me my energy on, I call it, and I say is when someone says, hey man, I trust you with my life. I trust your plan to be what is gonna guide me. Like it's everything. That means everything for me. So when I hear somebody tell me that, like I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna chase it quick. I'm gonna get it done. So that's helped us grow immensely.
And when did you decide it was your time to open up a second shop?
So we've been looking at it since January, and one of the big pieces we were thinking is like, man, we look at all the things we've done in this shop in a small location with no traffic, and the style of shop that we're trying to build is that high end, that precision look, that you walk in, it's a showroom experience. Again, one of those pieces that we're touching on is the customer experience. So you walk in, you come up to the new facility, it's a glass storefront. You're gonna be seeing your car right through a glass, and it's gonna look like glass when you get in there. So it's just gonna be crazy.
And what's the build out on that?
As far as
like how long is it gonna take until you guys are in there?
So we're looking at about 3 to 4 months right now. So once we get that done, it's game on.
That's awesome. Well, before we bring your dad and your son in here, we got to speak of the company that we're here for, which is Urable.
Okay.
And how has Urable, helped you guys in this expansion too? And how do you see it being used in your secondary location?
Well, I'm awful at organization, so we're gonna start there. I would never remember how to schedule all of the jobs that we do sometimes. Literally, it saves us. I literally have to, I've trained myself now that if I even so much as talk to someone, it goes in Urable. I have to. And it's automated everything for us, Chris gave me some great education last night on our long-term reminders, which we're gonna integrate immediately, just so, kind of keep in touch with our customers as well. But just simple things like, the automations in Carfax, that's huge. Increasing your client's value when they go to trade it in, that's massive. That's one of my favorite pieces. So the integration with Square, and some of the other softwares that they integrate with, that's huge for us. Sending payable invoices during COVID, heaven sent. Because no one wanted to touch hands, hand you their card or anything. So.
Yeah, that speaks wonders, especially when you have 2 locations being apart. So Cam's going to be running this location, you're going to be running the secondary location.
Yes, sir.
Allows you to see both companies from both ends.
Yes, sir.
For both of you guys.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome. Cool. So why don't we get your dad and son in here, and we'll keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Vincent, Marcus, welcome. Appreciate you guys. I love this family dynamic already. 3 generations all rolling in.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. So Vince, you got to tell us, Your man over here, I guess, wasn't into cars, what I heard when he was younger.
No, he wasn't into the cars that much. I had to try to force him a little bit to come outside and let's do this work. No, Dad, I don't want to do this. You know, I'm like, come on, you never know, because you're going to get a car one day, you're going to have to know how to do certain things. All right, he'll come out, he'll do it. He complains the whole time, but he'll get the job done. And so I'm proud of him because of the simple fact that he's into the business now. And he do an excellent job in the business. So I'm really proud of him for that.
That's awesome. So what was the shift for him then from going from no cars to cars?
Now, I mean, it's when he told me he was getting into it, I was like, wow, I can't believe it, you know. But I'm so glad that he is in it, and I'm really thankful and I'm happy for him.
That's awesome. So you had 30 years in at UPS, was it right?
UPS Freight.
UPS
Yes.
Freight. What are some things that you learned there that you kind of taught this man here in his life?
Well, I teach him the things because I was on the safety team. So it was always about safety, getting everything done. You got to be prompt with everything that you do. And I really think that he really understood how the things I had to do. So he's seen it as I was doing these long 30 years. So, and I see that he's doing this with his companies now. So, and I'm really happy for him with that.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Marcus, how is it having your pops being over here owning a couple companies?
Honestly, I tell him all the time, he's not really popular. But deep down, I mean, I'm always like, yeah. I tell my friends my dad owns a lot of stuff.
Are you popular because of that? Nope, that's all
I'd say
right.
no.
And how is it having your dad and son walking into the shop?
It's the best feeling ever, man. Like, this is gonna be my son. So like, one day he's gonna, if he wants it, if he's like, hey, I want this to be mine. Like, that's his all day. Like, it's the greatest feeling ever. Like, knowing that even when he wants to start working his first job, I don't gotta ask anyone, can my son work here? I just say, hey, come on, let's go to work. And he's got his own money taken care of. That's invaluable. You can't put a price on it to me.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Vince, you much like Michael Avens came out of retirement.
Yeah.
To come in
Actually,
here.
I don't really want to just stay home and relax, kick my feet up. Come on, Dad, you ain't doing nothing. Come on. Oh, man. It's okay. I'm coming down.
So the roles have turned a little bit.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
I drag him out of the house now.
So let's speak of some family dynamics too that you guys have. How where did the close knit come from that you guys share every day?
I mean, it's from like day one. I mean, I don't have to get on him about anything. He knows what to do. So, I'm really happy for that.
That's
Yes.
great.
Absolutely. He's been from day one, like he's just I can't count a time for a major event in my life really like that my dad ain't been there for. I can't even think of one honestly. So I mean, I always been around him. I always will be, he's always gonna be a part of my plans, and that's why I try to teach him and teach my son, and I try to be around him as much as I can, and that's one thing that I've been making sure I'm trying to make more time for. Make sure all those memories that I got with my dad, I want to make sure he gets them with me.
It's great, bro. Cool.
If he step out of line, he knows. Up there, hold him. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having us down here. It's been an absolute
Thank you.
blast. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks for being part of this. This is really cool. I love the the three generations sitting all here, and although you're not ready, I know you're gonna be on the business too. By the time you're like 18, you're gonna have like 7 of them. So,
He's gonna be the man. He's already smart. He's smarter than me already, honestly.
Yeah.
I just gotta groom him now. He's
Yeah, he's smart.
He's smart.
He's smart.
He'll definitely be the one that takes us to the next level.
Yes.
it's awesome. So speaking of, one more part of family dynamic is obviously the wife and that support system you have. So can you speak about, how she's supported you through this journey of 3 companies?
Yes. So my wife is what allows this all to function. Literally, she's the glue for all of it, right? I couldn't go to work every day the way I do. I don't have to worry about anything. Literally, I just get to focus on business, right? My daughter's taken care of. I remember at one point, it sounds bad, but my wife, first time my daughter went to daycare, and I had to pick her up for the first time, I was like, where's the daycare? I didn't even know where the daycare was because that's how much my wife does.
Wow.
And, she's taking care of my son. She does everything. Like, literally, she's just like, hey, you go handle all the business stuff, you make it happen. I trust you. I know you're gonna make it work. So every day, like, she just makes sure I'm able to get it done. I don't, like I said, my life is pretty set up. I literally I get to wake up, there's already food, there's already stuff done. I just gotta go make the money. So without her in the function of it, like, it doesn't work.
Powerful. Yeah. Having that support system is the most powerful thing you can have around you, especially in
She's the strongest piece in the team.
Yeah, it's huge. She's gonna love hearing that too. Cool. Well, guys, cheers. Thanks so much for having us out. Love every bit about what you guys are doing here. Big time at 2020 and just everything that you've done from day one with all your businesses and keeping that family as close as it could possibly be. As always, thank you to Michael, Chris, and Kyle, and everybody over at Urable. Thank you to Cinescope. Please go online and sign up for the free 30-day trial. And as always, keep shining. Thanks.